is up, my dudes? We're back at it again with another video. So y'all saw in the last one, we got my girl's car together. It's running, driving. It does everything it needs to. We need to get coilovers on it. We've got the new wheels on it. It looks great, runs great. And we're gonna get the exhaust handled in that. We also got the 342 wheel horsepower Vitara Mini-Me EF hatch in the shop again, because we got some transmission work to do on that. But in this video, we are going to be concentrating on the green coupe, the EK coupe. We did get the head gasket for it. We got the head studs. We're ready to go, ready to put this thing together, finish finally assembling it, put the oil pump on, rear main seal, all the good stuff. The only thing that we may not do in this video is put the oil pan on, because I still have to mount the turbo, the manifold, find out where the drain's gonna go, get a drain for that stuff. So we're gonna get this head on the block. We're gonna get the block finished getting put together, oil pump, rear main seal, stuff like that. And we're also gonna dive into the transmission for this car, see what it may need, see if we can just put it together. I assume we're not gonna be able to. We're gonna have to get a rebuild kit because it's been sitting outside and open for a long time. I'm just gonna assume that the bearings are just trashed. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. Get this motor together, sort out the transmission, see what it needs, and go from there. So let's get cracking. Alright, this thing looks as good as ever. Stupid clean, ready to go. If you guys aren't familiar, this is a Y8 block. No notch, Speed Factory long rods, Vitara pistons, and a Z6 crank for better oiling. Alright, we're gonna get these dowel pins in, get this head gasket on. We're gonna get the head seated on the block, get the head studs in, and get everything torqued down and ready. And then we can do the oil pump, rear main seal, yeah, and really be ready to move on. I'm not sure. This is actually, this piece that holds the gaskets together right here is actually like, it's hitting the head on both sides, and I'm not sure what the heck that means. I've never had that happen before. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out real quick. So this gasket that we got is for a Y8. It fits the part number. Yeah, these pieces, these bronze pieces, they're meant to hold the gasket together, are actually coming between the head and the deck of the block. Now that's holding the head up. If I torque the head down, this shit is going to keep the head from sealing. Now I called Cometic, 4:56 p.m. They close at 5. Techs were already walking out. That's what the lady told me. She transferred me. They didn't answer my phone call, and then at 5, I'm trying to call back to get someone because I need some help with this. No answer. Listen, you don't, I get it, you don't want to be there. You need to take your job seriously, bro. And that's very disappointing, okay? Anyways, these are only here to hold the gasket together, so I'm just gonna fucking remove them, and it'll be perfectly fine. It'll seal perfectly fine, but man, provide better customer service, please. This shit is, that's unacceptable. Anyways, I'm gonna pull those out real quick, then we can get the head back on it. Alright, installing ARPs, you want to put the lubricant on the threads and then just get them turned down into the block one by one. You do not want to put torque on these, you just want to get them set down. I usually go down until they stop, and that's where I leave it. I don't put torque on it with the Allen wrench. That's not what it's meant for. It's just meant for clamping forces, so no torque applied. Now what I did there was they all touched the bottom, so I just backed them off the bottom and went back to the bottom again, hand tight, so that that doesn't apply any torque to it. They should be good. Now I'm going to take the ARP lubricant, lube up both sides of the washers, set them on, get the nuts on, put some lubricant on the bottom of the nut. Like I already got lubricant on the threads, put them down, and then tighten them in sequence. I've always torqued them in 30, 60, 80 foot-pounds, but it calls for 15, 30, 60, which is factory. But I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Do it at your own consequence, if there is one. But yeah, I'm going to go 30, 60, 80, as I've always done. Alright, they're torqued. Psych. Alright, what I usually do to torque them down is I get the shortest extension possible, get them all torqued. So, smash that out real quick. There is a torque pattern. It's like 1, 2, then cross, then cross, then cross, then cross. But you could also do 1, 2, and go in like a circle pattern. As long as you evenly torque the head down, I don't think you'll have any real issues. So, alright, like I said, this is the way that I do it. 30, 60, 80. 3 steps, inside out, should be good. Now I'm just gonna get them all set down real quick so they're all about even before we go ahead and start torquing everything. About 10 foot-pounds on the first pass just to get them somewhat clamped so nothing is distorted. Just like, it's like you would with a regular ratchet, just get them all seated. All right, last one, 80. Just gonna check them all again. Now, if you torque them all and then you come back to the centers and they're tight, most likely they're all tight. Because once you tighten these and then go outward and tighten the rest of them, centers usually loosen up a little bit. They're all tight, should be good to go. Okay, so getting ready to put the oil pump on. Turns out there are no bolts for it, so I have to pull the blown Y8 bolts out of the oil pump for that one and use them over here. So I want to do that real quick, get that pulled out, get the oil pump on. We can do the timing, put the camshaft in, do the timing belt, do all the good stuff, get this thing moving along. Oh, well, that was a literal pain in the ass getting that shit off of there because the crank pulley probably has never been off before. So it looks like we do have a I think this is a ported and shimmed Y8 pump. So it's not an actual 4-piston like brand, I guess. I mean, it's from 4-piston, but I believe they like ported and shimmed this thing. Definitely looks clean. I don't know if you guys can see it in there. Yeah, if you can see in there, it's pretty shiny and smooth. I believe it's because they ported it. So usually what I would do with these oil pumps is I just put a thin layer of gasket maker all the way around the edge here, slap her on, she should be Gucci. Just like that, nice little thin layer. Make sure you clean up all the insides so you don't get any sealant on the inside. And you're golden. Slap her on. Boom. Alright, boom. Alright. That's on there. So I thought we did have a room main seal for this thing, but we don't. So I'm just going to continue moving. I'm gonna get the camshaft in, get all the stuff on over on this side of the motor. The mount, water pumped, get the camshaft in, get the time belt on, get it timed up. And yeah, then we'll attack that when we have it. Now I did notice that I put the cam upside down, so I'm just going to turn this 90 degrees so that none of the pistons are at top dead center and just rotate the camshaft. Alright, I'm almost certain that these are 15 foot-pounds. Set to 15. Go ahead and tighten them. As far as these 410 millimeters go on the outside, I just get them, you know, hand tight. They don't have to be too tight. You know, it's not a crazy detrimental bolt, but. Okay, it looks like we don't have a timing belt, water pump, or tensioner either. So yeah. I don't know if we ordered one or not. I am kind of upset, man. I thought we had this all ready and together. The oil pump did not come with a pickup tube seal or nothing. No gaskets like that. No oil pan gasket like the. I don't know why they would sell that kit without like a pickup tube seal. Oh, sure. But we have to get all that stuff. For the time being, I'm gonna just get everything else thrown on here as much as I can, and we'll catch back up when we're fiddling around with the rest of it. Alrighty, boys. So it's been 3 months since that last clip. We've been waiting for some parts, trying to iron some things out. I've been doing some stuff here, but mostly been waiting for parts. We got the parts. We're gonna get moving. So right now I have the manifold actually mounted on the block, and it looks really good. This turbo is a GTX3582R replica, I guess. It's eBay, whatever. It is ball bearing and it is water cooled. But I'm not sure how we're going to actually get this water cooling thing to work, because unlike the Z6 and the A6 block, it doesn't have the water port. And we need that to feed it. Also, where these would go down, we wouldn't really get a coolant line to them. So the only option if we continue to run with this is to run it without coolant. So it is just, I mean, these things, from what I've read, people have ran ball bearing turbos without coolant through them and they work. But from my understanding from ball bearing turbos, they don't get cooled by the oil because it's very minimal oil that gets into the turbo. It's only there to keep the bearing lubricated. So it will eventually go out. So I'm talking to Christian about possibly getting a smaller turbo, something that will spool a little quicker, that we can make a more broad power band and have more fun with on the street. Being that it is a low compression motor and it is a 1.6, you know, this size turbo, which is meant for like, you know, 2 liter and up, motors. It's probably meant for like a 3-liter motor. But anyways, this size turbo on this motor with this low compression and a stock camshaft, we're not really going to get it to be able to breathe how we do need it to spool it. So going with a smaller turbo would probably be our best bet. Still waiting on that. I did mount the turbo though, just so I can get an idea where the drain would be, because this pan already had a hole in it with a bolt in it, and I pulled out, sanded it or whatever, and I was going to weld an AN bung on there, but because we may not use this turbo, I'm gonna see what Christian wants to do as far as this goes. Again, at a standstill, but that's okay because we're making moves. I got the rear main seal on, I got the oil pump on, timing belt, water pump, tensioner, and basically this thing is almost ready to go. Honestly, we just have to get whatever is going on here and iron this transmission out. Speaking of this transmission, it came to us in pieces. Literal bucket of parts. So there's one box of bolts, and then the base of the transmission here. So what I have to do, which I'm going to try and take care of right now, is sort out what the fuck is going on here. I doubt the bearings are going to be any good. I'm going to clean everything, see what's going on here. Possibly we might be able to just slap it together. I don't want to do that, but in worst case scenario, we need to find a trans. But I think with the parts that are here, everything is probably here, and we can assemble it as is or get a rebuild kit for this trans and then rebuild the transmission. I would suggest that to get an LSD because an open diff in this car with 300 horsepower is going to be just a little bit much, especially because it is his first turbo car. And also it is a power steering rack, and the power steering pump cannot go on. So also talking to him about getting a manual rack put in this thing. We can do that before we put the motor in. That would be the best bet. That way he's not, it's not like, you know how the racks are. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead, tear into this, see what we can do here, see what's all going on here, and then I'll let you guys know here in a second. Okay, just spoke to Christian, and he says he's cool with going with a smaller turbo. This will probably make good power, and I really can't tell what the exhaust is. I think it's 0.63, but I'm not sure because I can't tell. So we're going to go with a smaller turbo. Yeah, we're going to go with a small turbo. And he said that was cool, so I'm going to look online, try to find him one. We're going to try to get rid of this one so he can get some money for the next one. Also, for the transmission, right? Everything looks to be there, but everything is real dirty and bearings pretty bad. Pretty crunchy, so everything seems to be there. The shafts, the shift forks, everything we need is here. We just need to get a rebuild kit in this thing, so I'm going to tell Christian that. So we need a rebuild kit for the trans. We're going to try and get a smaller turbo to make better use of this low compression 1.6. He says he drives a lot of windy back roads, so to have a smaller turbo that spools a little better would be more ideal. So if we can find one that's ball bearing, that'd be great because it would spool even faster, but probably going to go with a smaller journal bearing and call it good. We could still make 300 on pump gas, so I'm not really worried about it. We could still do that. So yeah, that is going to be all for this one, guys. Sorry, this video was literally 3 months in the making. The one of the last clips was January, and then today. So today is April 24th. So yeah. Oh, a little quick update. I got my 4-door running. Just getting a windshield put in it, getting it inspected. I do have a small oil leak from the brand new oil pan gasket because it's eBay, right? So we're going to replace that next oil change, and then I got to replace the radiator because the drain bolt leaks a little bit on the radiator. So I'm going to do that too. I got a Y8 exhaust manifold on it, new timing belt, water pump, tensioner. I also have a B7 intake manifold with a LS throttle body, port matched, and an OBD1 VTEC harness, because the harness that was on this car is from a D15B8, which was running a very small intake manifold, and this this cat in the header, but it already has a cat in the exhaust. So, but yeah, so I got this thing running. We need it running because my brother needs a car, my older brother. So we're gonna let him use that. And yeah, and then when he's done, I'll take it back, put a VTEC head on it, throw a little bit of boost at it, and just have like a little bit of fun driving it around. And yeah, so thanks for watching this one, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Yeah, I got a buddy who's dropping his car off soon. He has a D2B, D16, B-Series trans, Vitara build. Wants to make like 400 and like 600 on like high boost. We'll have to make a few changes to his setup because it's not really set up for that. But he's going to be dropping it off soon. I'll have some videos on the fabrication for that, fuel lines, and tuning for that as well. So stay tuned for that one, guys. I'll check you on the next one. Deuces.